Hello, Aluxers. This is a special series we're doing here on Alux, where every day we showcase the life and story of some of the most important figures in rap music. Today we're looking at 15 Things You Didn't Know About Drake. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello, Aluxers. Today we're talking about the Canadian rapper and world sensation Drake. Drake started out like a lot of other stars, on a teen drama in the early 2000s, with his role on Degrassi: The Next Generation. He decided to shrug his television persona and break into the world of music back in 2010 with his first album, Thank Me Later. Over the last 8 years, he's put out record-breaking albums and has received an amazing number of musical awards. He holds several Billboard music records and continues to light up social media with his music. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Alux. But that's enough with the intro. Let's get to the good stuff, shall we? Here are the 15 things you didn't know about Drake. Number 1. Drake was bullied growing up in his Toronto neighborhood. Drake was born to a white mother and a black father. His mother is Jewish and was an English teacher in Toronto. His dad was a drummer with several bands growing up, but left the family and moved to Memphis when Drake was a teenager. Drake was one of the only multiracial children in his neighborhood. He was also Jewish. This combination did not go over well as a teenager in downtown Toronto. He was constantly bullied by people for his race and religion. He said his school was not an easy one to attend, and when his busy class schedule started to conflict with his acting, he dropped out of high school altogether. Number 2. Drake has the most charted solo songs in the history of the Billboard Hot 100. Drake came on the scene hard in 2016. After buzzing around the music world, he managed to have 186 different songs hit the Billboard Hot 100 by 2016. He also had the most songs on the charts at any one time, with 27. People were finally starting to recognize him for his music and not for his days on a Canadian television show. Drake started to appear on every awards show and became somewhat of a musical sensation. He's one of the most successful rap or hip-hop artists to break through mainstream music. Number 3. His mother and father divorced when he was very young. A lot of people's parents get divorced. That's nothing new. However, for Drake, it was pretty harsh. He was raised by both parents in the suburbs of Toronto, Canada. However, when he was still quite young, his parents divorced. His dad left and moved to the United States. Drake stayed home with his mother in Canada. His father went to Memphis, where he ended up getting arrested for drug offenses. He was in jail for most of Drake's formative years and didn't enter his life again until Drake's late teens. He and his mother didn't have a ton of money and at one point had to share a house with another family. Number 4. One of Drake's friends' fathers got him into acting at the age of 15. In high school, Drake always had an interest in acting. When he was 15, one of his friends had a dad who was an acting agent. He ended up hooking Drake up with an audition for a Canadian television show called Degrassi: Next Generation. Drake got the part and was cast as Jimmy Brooks. He remained on the show for several seasons, filming almost 150 episodes. When his character graduated, so did Drake. Shortly thereafter, Drake self-released his first album, called Room for Improvement. The album included collaborations with other artists such as Lupe Fiasco. It was also this album that got Drake the attention he wanted from the music world. Number 5. Drake's net worth is $100 million. At just 32 years old, Drake is worth over $100 million. His fortune isn't just from his music either. He has ventures including fashion, acting, and music. He's also the spokesperson for very popular clothing and shoe lines such as Nike, Clarks, and Timberlands. He's sold millions of records and performed all over the world. What's more, he's amassed this fortune in under 8 years, with the first few years of his career being rather quiet. Now, Drake is a household name and is in demand. His net worth is expected to continue to increase as he gets his hands into more producing in the music industry. Number 6. As alluded to earlier, Drake used to live in a basement in a house he shared with other families. When Drake was growing up, he and his mother didn't have a lot of money. They managed to find a house to share on the outskirts of downtown Toronto. His mother lived on the first floor, and another family lived upstairs. Drake was relegated to the basement. This was quite a change from where he grew up. The first half of his life, he said he lived in an affluent neighborhood with fancy schools and fancy houses. This all changed when his dad left them and sent no child support. His dad was later put in prison and didn't help support Drake or his mother for years afterward. Number 7. Drake came under fire in January 2019 for touching a 17-year-old on stage. A video resurfaced in January 2019 of the performer touching and kissing a 17-year-old girl on stage at one of his shows. He was flirting and dancing with the girl on stage. He told her her hair smelled good and then wrapped his arms around her from behind. He then asked her how old she was, and she said 17. He announced to the audience that he knew he was going to get in trouble and joked he was too young to go to jail. He made light of the situation, but it came back to bite him when the video resurfaced and caught the attention of many viewers. Number 8. Drake was widely criticized for a blackface picture he took in 2008. In 2018, a rival rapper named Pusha T released a photo of Drake from 2008 in which he wore blackface. Wearing blackface has been an issue for years as it implies racism. The interesting thing is, it's usually worn by people who aren't black. Drake is half black, so it's surprising that he would ever have donned the makeup. The photo was taken for a fashion shoot for a Canadian clothing line. Drake explained the photo, saying the point of the fashion shoot was to highlight the exploitation of black men, not to embrace it. Number 9. He has launched his own brand of whiskey. Drake collaborated with the company De Leon Tequila to create his own brand of whiskey. He calls the label Virginia Black. It was released for sale in Canada in September 2016. On its first day, he sold almost 2,000 bottles. He'll be going public with his company so people can start buying stock in it. They started an IPO for the company, and their goal was to raise $30 million in the first quarter. He put out a commercial for the whiskey, and the commercial stars Drake and his father. Number 10. Drake spent $2 million on new sneakers in 2016. A lot of guys love shoes, but most of them can't spend millions of dollars on them. In 2016 alone, Drake spent a reported $2 million on new sneakers, including a pair of solid gold Air Jordans. The sneakers were originally crafted as a gift for Drake and his crew, but he ended up having to buy them anyway. His favorite brands of sneakers are Nike, Timberland, and specifically Jordans. He gave a pair of his Jordans away at a Toronto Raptors game. The person who received them turned around and sold them on eBay for $100,000. Number 11. Drake has dealt with an ongoing battle with musician Kanye West that has continued into 2019. It's not uncommon to see rap stars battle each other publicly. We saw it with Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly. Now we're seeing it between Kanye West and Drake. West has accused the star of threatening his family. The two have gone back and forth on Twitter, making all kinds of accusations and insults. The battle has recently been joined by rapper Soulja Boy, who claims that Drake stole his lyrics for his first hit song. From what we can see, this battle isn't going to end anytime soon. Number 12. The star is reportedly dating an 18-year-old model. Last year, it was rumored that Drake was once again dating Rihanna. He and Chris Brown had gone back and forth fighting for the female pop artist for a couple of years. When rumors started last summer that Drake may be interested in a much younger woman, Rihanna made it clear that she was not happy. Today, the star is reportedly dating an 18-year-old model named Bella Harris. Even his fans aren't happy about it. But of course, nobody can get a clear answer from his camp. They've denied the rumors, but continue to allow the paparazzi to post pictures of the two out together. Number 13. Drake is the global ambassador for the Toronto Raptors. Drake grew up in Toronto and continues to show his city love. And the city returned the favor when the Toronto Raptors, their NBA team, decided to name the musician as their global ambassador. He's the official face of the team and enjoys access to all of their home games. He embraces fans and players courtside and enjoys every minute of it. Anyone who knows Drake knows he's a big basketball fan and has the shoes to prove it. Number 14. Drake is the all-time best-selling solo male artist in the US. For someone who didn't start out in music, Drake sure has made a name for himself. He's the top-selling solo male artist of all time. He's surpassed many musicians such as Elvis, Eminem, and Michael Jackson to earn this honor. The song God's Plan from his recent album, called Scorpio, is his best-selling record to date, capping off an amazing first 8 years as a musical artist. Number 15. His pseudonym is Champagne Pappy. What few people know is that Drake is also a producer. He doesn't produce music under his own name, though. Instead, he goes by the moniker Champagne Pappy. Nobody knows exactly where he got the name, and Drake won't tell. A lot of people think he may have gotten the name from the 2002 movie Shot Us, but Drake won't confirm or deny. Well, Aluxers, that's a wrap on the 15 things you didn't know about Drake. But before you go, we're curious. If Drake gave you those sneakers at the Toronto Raptors game, would you have sold those sneakers on eBay? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxers. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos, which we recommend you watch next. Thank you for being an Aluxer, and we'll see you back tomorrow.